The night air in Port Charles carried a strange tension, the kind that settled in your bones and refused to let go. The lights of the city flickered against the harbor, shimmering like secrets waiting to be uncovered. And tonight, one of those secrets was about to surface, one that had been buried for years. Ethan Lovett stood alone on the pier, his hands shoved deep into the pockets of his jacket. He stared out at the dark water, but his mind was somewhere else entirely, lost in memories he had tried desperately to forget. Behind him, footsteps approached. "Funny place to be brooding," came a familiar voice. Ethan didn't turn. "I wasn't brooding." "Right," Michael Corinthos replied, stepping beside him. "You only come out here when something's eating at you. So what is it this time?" Ethan let out a slow breath. "You ever have something in your past that just refuses to stay buried?" Michael crossed his arms. "In this town? That's basically everyone's life." Ethan gave a faint smirk, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Yeah. Well, mine just came back to haunt me." Michael studied him carefully. "Does this have anything to do with Jacinda?" At the mention of her name, Ethan stiffened. Jacinda, the woman he had once loved, the woman he had married, the woman he had lost, and the woman who, until recently, he thought was gone from his life forever. Ethan finally turned to face Michael, his expression guarded. "You could say that." Michael's brow furrowed. "I thought you two were done, completely." "So did I." There was a long pause between them, filled only by the distant sound of waves hitting the dock. Then Ethan said something that changed everything. "She's not who you think she is." Michael frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" Ethan ran a hand through his hair, clearly struggling with what to say next. "When I met Jacinda, I thought she was just this incredible woman. Smart, fearless, a little reckless. Okay, a lot reckless." Michael chuckled lightly. "Sounds like your type." "Yeah," Ethan admitted. "Maybe that's the problem." He leaned against the railing, his gaze drifting again to the water. "We met in Europe, Monte Carlo. She was running a poker table like she owned the place, and I was trying to beat her." "And did you?" Ethan shook his head, a faint smile tugging at his lips. "Not even close. She cleaned me out in 20 minutes. But instead of walking away, I stayed. We talked, we laughed, and before I knew it, I was hooked." Michael nodded. "Sounds like it moved fast." "It did," Ethan said quietly. "Too fast." His expression darkened. "What I didn't know back then was that Jacinda had secrets. Big ones." Ethan's voice grew heavier as he continued. "We got married after 6 months. I know, it was impulsive. But at the time, it felt right. Like she was the only person in the world who truly understood me." Michael didn't interrupt. "But not long after the wedding," Ethan went on, "things started to change. She'd disappear for hours, sometimes days. She'd get calls she wouldn't answer in front of me. And whenever I asked questions, she'd brush it off." Michael's eyes narrowed. "That doesn't sound good." "No," Ethan said. "It wasn't." He took a deep breath. "One night, I followed her." Michael raised an eyebrow. "You followed your wife?" "Yeah. And what I found?" Ethan hesitated. "It wasn't just bad. It was dangerous." Ethan turned fully toward Michael now, his voice dropping to a near whisper. "Jacinda wasn't just a gambler. She was involved in something much bigger." Michael's expression hardened. "How much bigger?" Ethan met his gaze. "She was working with an international crime network." The words hung in the air like a thunderclap. Michael blinked. "You're serious?" "Dead serious." Ethan's jaw tightened. "I saw her meet with people you don't want to cross. There were exchanges, deals, things I didn't fully understand at the time. But I knew enough to realize she wasn't who she said she was." Michael shook his head. "And you didn't know any of this before you married her?" "No," Ethan said bitterly. "I was a fool. I saw what I wanted to see." "What happened when you confronted her?" Ethan let out a hollow laugh. "That's the thing. I didn't. Not right away. I kept watching, trying to figure out just how deep it went." He paused, his eyes clouded with regret. "And then one night, everything blew up. The network she was working with, they found out someone was asking questions, Ethan said. They got paranoid, violent. Michael leaned in slightly. Did they suspect you? Ethan nodded. Eventually, but before they could act, Jacinda came to me. His voice softened just a little. She told me everything, or at least, part of it. She said she'd been trying to get out for months, that she was in too deep, and the only way out was to disappear. Michael frowned. Disappear how? Ethan swallowed. Fake her death. Michael stared at him. You're kidding? I wish I was. Ethan's hands clenched at his sides. She asked me to help her, said it was the only way to keep both of us alive. And did you? Michael asked. Ethan didn't answer right away. Instead, he looked back out at the water, as if searching for something he'd lost long ago. Yes, he finally said. I helped her. Michael exhaled sharply. So all this time, everyone thought she was dead? Yeah, Ethan said quietly. That was the plan. But something went wrong, didn't it? Ethan turned back to him, his eyes filled with something raw and unresolved. She didn't just disappear, he said. She left something behind. Michael frowned. What? Ethan hesitated, and then he revealed the secret that would change everything. She left a trail. Michael's confusion deepened. A trail? Ethan nodded. Clues, hidden messages. At first, I didn't understand why, but now I think she wanted to be found. Why would she do that? Michael asked. That's what I'm trying to figure out, Ethan said. Because if Jacinda is reaching out now, after all these years, it means one thing. Michael's expression darkened. She's in trouble. Ethan nodded slowly. Or worse, she's bringing trouble with her. The wind picked up, rustling the water below them. Michael ran a hand over his face. So what are you going to do? Ethan didn't hesitate. I'm going to find her. Michael looked at him sharply. Ethan, if she's still tied to that network, I know the risks. Ethan cut in. But I can't just walk away, not this time. There was determination in his voice now, a fire that hadn't been there before. Jacinda saved my life once, he said. Now it's my turn. Michael studied him for a long moment. Then you're not doing it alone, he said firmly. Ethan raised an eyebrow. Since when do you sign up for international manhunts? Michael smirked slightly. Since my friend is about to walk straight into danger. For the first time that night, Ethan smiled, a real one. Guess I could use the backup. As the two men stood on the pier, the weight of what lay ahead settled over them. Somewhere out there, Jacinda was waiting. But she wasn't the same woman Ethan had loved. She was a mystery, a danger, a secret waiting to explode. And in Port Charles, secrets never stay buried for long. Because as Ethan was about to discover, the truth about Jacinda wasn't just about the past. It was about the future. A future that could change everything. Thank you for watching. Write what you think about it. Subscribe to the channel.